Hallelujah. Let Lord Jesus Christ shine forth. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us. Welcome to another live stream with DCCI Ministries. And I feel I am gonna block this person. It is just for the personal reasons, nothing at all, nothing at all. So thank you very much, everyone, who joining us tonight. We will be talking about Shamima Begum. So we did a couple of live streams in the past couple of years ago. Shamima Begum is now in her 20s. Approximately 8 years ago, she decided to go from Britain to London, from London to Syria to live under the caliphate. And that was kind of, we talked about it when it happened. She wanted to be jihadi bride, ISIS bride. And approximate couple of years ago, people find out she's alive. She wants to come back to UK. And then government kind of, government decided she's not British citizen anymore. So they kind of took her right to be British. I forgot the term for that. But anyway, so that happened. And we are talking about it today because recently on BBC, which is the main channel in Britain, paid by taxpayers' money, spent approximately £10,000 to send a journalist to Syria to interview her for us to hear the story from her side. And also, I think overall, when she was stripped from the British citizenship, she appealed, and that's like appeal cost legal cases going on as well. I think that is costing taxpayers approximately 5 million to bring her back. So since the documentary has been already shown on BBC 5 radio, apparently it's 10 episodes. First 2 episodes was shown. In second episode there was not much. First episode was kind of giving us a little bit more information. So we just thought we come together and then talk about it to see if there is any remorse or any repentance shown by someone who decided to go and live under the another state, as well as be part of that state. Now she wants to come back. Apparently it is a tragedy in under the Islamic State. They didn't have mint chocolate. She misses probably that, and she misses comfortable life. I don't know what is exactly, but BBC decided to spend minimum of $10,000, £10,000 to help us to hear the story from her side. So I am Turkish. I don't think I am in a place of commenting much on should she kind of treated as British or not. I am just gonna focus on mainly after 8 years, does she show any remorse? Some views will be safe in London, and what is her expectation and how story falls, because in the first episode also you get to see how, what is the term, you get to see how like events takes place, and then there are like serious questions and concerns rises for her family, for the mosques involved, for the lawyers being involved, as well as her life under ISIS. So we will kind of talking about this. I am not able to share the recording from BBC Radio 5 with you. Main reason is like it is a recording. Probably I won't be able to kind of go through. It's only 30 minutes first part, and second part is 30 minutes as well. First part is just how the story falls, and then second part, journalist spends time to go through if she's telling the truth, kind of follows the steps to figure out what's happening. Some of you will be very much aware that now, even though she intentionally chose to go and be part of ISIS, become wife of ISIS fighter, and identify herself as someone who wants to live under the Islamic law. Some of you might be thinking, poor girl at age 15, she's been trafficked, she needs to be rescued from these refugee camps because they don't have like that comfortable life British society or British government provides. Some of you might be thinking she chooses to go, now she needs to deal with the consequences. Which line you take? I just want us to look from the perspective, what are the testimonies tag us? Will you feel safe? Can she be trusted? And other kind of concerns as it has been raised. It has been raised from the interview. So, and I do have daughter of Christ with me. Beloved, peace of Christ be with you.
And with you, sister. Good to see you again. Hello.
How are you doing, sister?
I'm doing well, sister.
What are your thoughts? Sorry. Go on.
I do pay taxes, sister, as a British person. And so I am not happy with 5 million of my tax pounds going to this case.
Like,
Given,
yeah. 5
given
million,
that 5
your
million.
money, my money, those anyone who pays tax in Britain, so her legal case is being covered by the taxpayers, and it's approximately 5 million. And BBC is paid by taxpayers too. That her, journalist interview to Syria is like approximately £10,000. Of course, we are not kind of talking about all other practical things.
Especially at a time now where we're in a financial crisis in the UK, people are choosing to either be warm or eat. They can't afford both. The cost of living is sky high. People who work hard, who have never done anything criminal in their lives, didn't go against their country, didn't go to an enemy state, are struggling to live, and yet those taxpayers' money are going to this girl who can't face the consequences and wants to reverse her decision.
Well, it seems you are very, very negative thinking. Can I give you good news?
Yes, please.
Prime Minister of New Zealand resigned.
Yes. I heard, yes, she did.
That's really good news. While those depressing things happen, so of course there's some good news that happening around the
getting
world.
married, sister. She said she's getting married too. Congratulations.
Well, I don't care if she's getting married. She took people's freedom away. Identified the vaccine and unvaccinated as two different classes. Anyway, but that's a good wherever you kind of stand on that. Okay, so you are not happy that your tax money goes to the case such these cases, because also your tax money went to legal case for the grooming gangs as well.
Yeah, I mean, so the way I see it is so somebody can go against the country, do horrible crimes, potentially, or be aligned with those horrible crimes, at least in their thinking. And then for them to want to come back to that freedom, we as the citizens of this country has to pay for it. It doesn't make sense. I do come from another country in the Middle East. I'm not just British. Not sure if any other country from those parts of the world would ever afford such liberties in terms of their money and effort and their compassion, and pour all that into an enemy. That's just, I'm not a legal person, but that's just from the the common sense standpoint. It doesn't make any sense.
That's how you feel.
That's how I feel. Yeah, that's how I feel.
So it's what was the term, like strip of citizenship? Was that the term?
Yeah. She had her citizenship revoked by the Home Secretary.
Revoked. Yeah, sorry, revoked. Yeah,
So
so yeah, it's not only her. There are a couple of other people whose citizenship is being revoked. But it's interesting, since ISIS kind of came to be. You've got people from all over the world, females, decided to go and live under the Islamic State. Even we were listening second episode yesterday together. We heard how witnesses were stating people from Japan, Muslim people from Japan, went to live under ISIS. Muslim women from Japan went to live under ISIS as well as Europe. So it's like all over the world, people kind of, yeah, I want to live under the Islamic State. Before kind of we talk about this, I want, in case I forget, it just came to my mind now. You never know, my mind moves sometimes so quick. In case I forget, I want everyone, all of us to remember the clip which was shown a couple of years ago, and it was even in Dabuk magazine. So Dabuk magazine was one of the magazine where ISIS was like doing their propaganda, so you could just go and get it. Individuals who went to live under ISIS, when they went there, you've got the footages where people are burning their passport. People are burning their passport, so they want to be identified. They don't want to be identified as the country they come from. They want to be identified as country where they were at that stage. Okay, so in case I forget that, just remember. Therefore, it makes sense, like as Daughter of Christ said, like they choose to go. They don't want to be here. They want to be citizen of another country. On that, actually, it just came to my mind. We do have some of the Muslims in London. They wanted to go and be part of ISIS. Government took their passport. Government didn't allow them to go. Do you remember those cases, beloved?
Wow. Oh.
Amjad Chowdhury wanted to go, but government took his passport. They didn't want him to go.
He wasn't as fortunate as this lady. But what happened, sister? I thought living under Islam would be paradise. What happened?
So we will listen to the videos. Okay, there are a couple of videos. We will listen to them. There is an interview. Let me just check where it is from. There is an interview by Skype, interview by the Times Report, and then BBC. There are like a couple of short videos. I want them from the past. First, I want us to watch them, and then we will come to our main focus is going to be the BBC's documentary on I Am Not a Monster. So that's like which they kind of shared episode 2. We will be mainly focusing in first episode of that one. Are you ready, sister?
Yes, sister.
Okay, so there are a couple of them. Not in a kind of any order. Let's start with this one. Let's see how it's gonna work. Shares.
How are you feeling?
I just gave up. I'm really tired. Yeah.
And can you tell me a bit about the child?
It's a boy.
It's a boy.
Yeah. I named him after my old son because that's what my husband wanted. That's it.
May I ask his name?
It's Jarrah.
What are conditions like in the camp?
Right now it's okay, you know, I get fed, I have a heater now, so, but, you know, it's kind of difficult getting around doing stuff for yourself. Now that I have a child.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay. Will you be able to care for him here?
It's going to be a bit difficult because right now I don't have money, because people without money, it's kind of hard to get around, you know, with the amount of things they give us. So, yeah.
Is life in the camp better than it was in Baghouz over the last few months?
Definitely. I mean, I'm not starving. I have a roof over my head. You know, before I was sleeping outside, and and there was no medical care, so everyone was getting sick. My kids died because of sickness. So yeah.
You have obviously been through a lot over the last years. Describe for us what it has been like to live with and under Islamic State.
You know, at first it was nice. It was like how they, you know, showed it in the videos. Like, you come, you make a family together, and then afterwards things got harder. You know, when we lost Raqqa, we had to keep moving and moving and moving. And the situation got difficult. Yeah.
Was there a point where you started to have second thoughts about your life in Islamic State, under Islamic State?
Just only at the end, like after my son died, I realized I had to get out for the sake of my children, for the sake of my daughter and my baby. So, yeah.
It was only at the end, but you didn't have any regrets up until that point. What was it about Islamic State that attracted you? What did you like about it?
The way they showed how you can go, they'll take care of you, you can have your own family there, you can do anything. You're living under Islamic law.
Did you know what Islamic State were doing when you left for Syria? Because they had beheaded people, there were executions.
Yeah, I knew about those things, and I was okay with it at first because, you know, I started becoming religious just before I left. And, you know, from what I heard, that Islamically that is all allowed, so I was okay with it.
You didn't question that?
No.
Okay. There's a struggle going on in the UK now at home about whether you should be allowed to come home or not. You know that, do you? Okay. What are your feelings about that?
I think a lot of people should have like sympathy towards me for everything I've been through. You know, when I didn't know what I was getting into when I left, and I just was hoping that maybe for the sake of me and my child, they let me come back.
Okay.
Because I can't live in this camp forever. It's not really possible.
The head of the Foreign Intelligence Services in the UK says people like you are potentially very dangerous. What would you say to him?
They don't have any evidence against me doing anything dangerous. When I went to Syria, I was just a housewife the entire 4 years. Stayed at home, took care of my husband, took care of my kids. I never did anything dangerous. I never made propaganda. I never encouraged people to come to Syria. So they don't really have proof that I did anything that is dangerous.
Okay. Your family have made an appeal for you to come home. They are pleading with the British government to allow you to come home. Do you have a message for your family?
You know, just keep trying to get me back. I really don't want to stay here. I don't want to take care of my child in this camp because I'm afraid he might even die in this camp. So yeah, that's it.
What do you think life would be like back in the UK?
I don't know, because I know there would be a lot of restrictions on me. I wouldn't be free to do things like that I used to be able to do. I don't know if they'll take my child away. These things. That's kind of one of my biggest priorities, my child. Because I left because of him. I wouldn't want him to be taken away from me when I'm just trying to give him a better life. Yeah.
If the authorities took the child away from you, would you accept that?
It would be hard to accept. I would try my best to keep him with me. I don't see any reason why they would take him away from me. I don't. Yeah.
there are concerns because of what you have been through, views that people feel you may have or still have in regard to Islamic State?
Just something they have to question me about before they take my child away, I guess.
One question that people are asking is whether you can be rehabilitated.
Yeah, it would be really hard. Everything I've been through, you know, I'm still kind of in the mentality of Dawla, you know, planes over my head and having an emergency backpack and starving, and all these things. It would be a big shock to go back to the UK and like start a life again. You know.
May I ask, what was it that attracted you? Was it from watching videos? Was there somebody who recruited you, or a cleric who recruited you? What was it that prompted a 15-year-old girl to go to Syria?
During the time I left, you know, Dawla was on the news and stuff, and like a lot of videos were coming out, and I saw all the videos on the internet, and that just kind of attracted me to them. Like it attracted a lot of people.
Same as others. Okay. Do you know whether your friend Amira Abbas is still alive?
I don't know. I haven't heard from her in a long time.
Okay. And how did you feel when your other friend, Khadija Sultana, died?
It was a big shock because it was at the beginning of when we left. It was maybe a year after we left. It wasn't something I suspected. You know, it just came as a really big shock. Like now, if I heard that Amira was dead, I wouldn't be surprised. I would be hurt, obviously, but I wouldn't be surprised because of the situation she's still in. But when Khadija died, the situation was still good in Makkah, you know. Just came out of nowhere.
Do you feel that you have made a mistake? Do you think you've made a mistake when you look back at what you've been through over the last 4 years?
A mistake in going back to going to Dawla?
Yes, a mistake in coming here, living under Islamic State.
In a way, yes, but I don't regret it because it's changed me as a person. It's made me stronger, tougher. You know, I married my husband. I wouldn't have found someone like him back in the UK. I had my kids. You know, I did have a good time there. It's just at the end it got hard and I couldn't take it anymore. And I had to leave.
Have you had any contact with your husband? Does he know that you have had a child?
No, I don't have to get in contact with. I don't know if they would let me get in contact with him. I don't know where he is right now. I would like to get in contact with him.
Have consular officials from the British government been in touch with you? Have you had a phone call from them?
No, I'm just another journalist. That's it.
Nothing. Are you able to see the news, the coverage centering on you? Are you aware?
No, I don't have my phone. I can't go on the internet. I don't know what's going on around me right now. Just getting in contact with my family was difficult. I just got lucky, I guess.
You have had some contact with them, have you?
Yeah, the last journalist that came, he contacted my family for me.
Okay. Again, is there anything that you would like to tell them? Do you have a message for them?
Just please don't give up on trying to get me back. I really don't want to stay here. That's it.
Must have been a terrible shock for them when you left.
Because at first, obviously, they did try and help. They did try and ask me to come back, but I kept saying no to them. And then afterwards, they gave up. And now I'm kind of, after 4 years, I'm asking them for help now. It's kind of a big slap in the face to them, but I really need their help.
What would you say to them?
I'm sorry for leaving.
And your future? Do you feel that there is the possibility of a good future for you and your son?
Yes, if the UK are willing to, you know, take me back and help me start a new life again. And just try and move on from everything that's happened in the last 4 years.
Okay, so that is approximately 10 minutes video by Sky News, and this is couple of years ago. So this is 4 years after she's been part of the Islamic Caliphate. Okay, 4 years. Did you? I'm so sorry I came here. Anyway, just a quick note. I am sure some of you noticed while she said, oh, I don't have a phone to get in touch with people, and then suddenly phone rings and then she checks the internet. That's a bit strange over there. And then I hope you picked up, this is 4 years after she's been part of the ISIS. She's 9 at this stage. She was asked, oh, are you regret? And then like, are you regret that you are here? She says, towards at the end. So she was quiet, okay. Was quiet, okay. And now, oh, and why she's regret?
Things got a bit tough.
Yeah, life got hard. In UK, she's got these freedoms, okay? And she's questioning, why would they even take my child from me? Will government ever think I will produce another jihadi boy? No, government will never think that. Why? Why should they even think? And she's asking British citizens sympathy. And then family asked her to come back, and then she's like, no, not now, not now, not now, after 4 years. And no. Now she's asking her family, mommy, please help me. Mommy, please help me. And when she was asked, did you make mistake by coming here? She says, yeah, but. So but states, I don't regret because it changed me in a person. It made me tougher. It made me to meet my love of my love. Was that love of my life? It made me to meet with my husband. I couldn't find anyone like him in somewhere else. I had to travel to ISIS to start a new life. And now poor woman. Now this is like, remember, this is when she's 19. This is 4 years after she's been there. Did you pick up any regret? No. Did you pick up what is the name of her child? Jara, which is like one of the Muslim commander which Muhammad promised the paradise. But anyway, that's the different situation. So she's asking for the sympathy. And then she knew what ISIS was all about, killing all those people. And I knew it. I was okay with it because it was allowed Islamically. Beloved, what are your thoughts on this? And then I'll show the next video, and then we bring our attention to the last week BBC Radio 5-1.
As I was watching it, sister, it was actually very chilling. The dead look in the eyes and the way she just says horrific things, very matter of fact. Yeah, the child might die here. Yeah, I knew there were executions, but it didn't bother me. I knew it was allowed Islamically. Yeah, I had a good time. I don't regret it. Just cold. And why do you want to come back? Well, healthcare isn't great here. I can't stay here forever.
Yeah, that's her reasoning.
So basically, she wants the UK to suck it dry from the benefits of a comfortable life. But she was quite okay with marrying a jihadi. You know what an ISIS jihadi does, sister, on a daily basis? What's his job?
Well, I was gonna say probably they cook falafel every day. Probably they go and then like buy the laundry detergent for wife to do laundry. But no, I don't think I can say that. I think they go out and then take the life of non-Muslims and even life of Muslims who disagree with their approach.
So she does.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry. So she doesn't regret going there because she met her husband. She wasn't going to find someone like him back home. So what is this like that she couldn't find? What is it that he does? that she was looking for in a person? That's a question. And the second question is, does that make us feel safe? The partner of a person like that. And am I okay with her saying, oh, my friend might be dead, move on to the next? Oh, my child might die, move on to the next. Yeah, I knew people were being executed, didn't bother me because Islamically it was okay. All these things were chilling for me to watch. And me personally, sister, how would I feel safe if she was my neighbor here in the UK? The answer is not yes. I'm sorry.
Okay, you don't need to be sorry about that. No, she's not autistic, because when we will hear her interview for BBC Radio 4, you will see how clever she was. She's not autistic at all. Just also, I didn't mention, but it is always in my mind every time when I hear ISIS bride expresses like how much they suddenly missed life in UK. I want you all of you to remember Yazidis and Christians. Today, approximately still 3,000 Yazidis are missing. Yazidi women were taken as sex slaves. Like a couple of weeks ago, we looked at the picture where she was sold for $10 to ISIS brides, ISIS jihadis. And according to Dabuk magazine, one of the job of these ISIS brides were keeping the account of business account of Yazidis, how much you make from them, who bought them now, who is selling them now, all that. And remember, our brothers and sisters were killed under ISIS. It's just strange to me now. People are showing like zero remorse. Not even like repentance is something else. Remorse is something else. She's got zero repentance. She's grateful that she gone through that experiences because it made her better and tough person. No remorse at all. No remorse at all. So I think yes, it is okay to not feel safe if she's your next door neighbor.
Yeah, I mean, tougher and stronger in what way? You know, if by tough you mean you're being used to killings and watching executions and watching dead bodies, if that's the tough that you mean, then that's not tough. That's just another thing.
Also, have you picked up like when like she was saying, if they take my child from me, first they need to like figure out if I've done anything wrong here, if I've done anything dangerous. Like they need to provide evidence, and I said they have no evidence I did something wrong. And then in that she said like propaganda or encouraging other people to come. So she doesn't think killing of people, burning your passport, or selling people for sex slaves, or I don't know, taking the life of others. She doesn't think such a things are crime, dangerous. She thinks, oh, it is only dangerous if you are making a propaganda or you are encouraging other people to come. And she's confident that, well, they've got no evidence on me.
Well, sister, the Home Secretary that revoked her citizenship was stated himself that if we knew what he knew, we would never be happy for her to come back. That's what he said, not what I said.
So that will be the interview of the part 1. So we will look at that in a bit. I've got the transcript of that. Okay, would you be okay if I move to the next video, another short video?
Yeah, one last question, sister. If ISIS hadn't fallen, do you think she would have regretted anything?
I don't think she regretted anything at this stage right now, but her life just become difficult because she wasn't under ISIS anymore.
Right.
Because she said city is fallen, we lost the city. She says like, we lost the city. It's not like ISIS lost the city. We lost the city, and then now I was homeless. Oh, poor me.
So because they lost the city, now her life is difficult. She's living in a camp. That's why she wants to come back, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to get that out there. And also she did say that
I
her
will admit,
mindset is it's still of the dawla. The dawla is another word for, you know, ISIS. It's the Arabic word for nation. That's all.
Okay, let's listen to the next one.
Okay.
even though I was only,
Okay.
I will admit I was the one that made the choice. Even though I was only 15 years old, I do have like I could make my own decisions back there. I do have the like mentality to make my own decision, that I leave on my own, knowing that.
Yeah, she made her own decision to go there, and she knew what she's signing up for.
By the way, sister, being 15 doesn't exempt you from accountability and persecution by the law if you commit certain crimes. Just putting that out there.
And other thing is like 15 is today, like a
Yeah.
couple of years ago, we had like 15 years old students spoke to the NATO.
Yeah.
And now they're just like, oh, well, even child is enough to change her gender. So 15 years old, 15 years is not like child anymore. But the thing is, she's doing this interview at age 19, and she's not saying, okay, I thought wrong. Yes, I choose to do this, but I was wrong. She's not saying that. There is no remorse. There is no repentance at all.
No, she said, remember, sister, in the previous one, I was getting quite religious before she went. So
And that's what happens when you study the religion. You just like, I want to be part of it.
yeah, and only when it went wrong.
Yeah, actually, when we go through BBC Radio 5 interview, we will see like, because she knew what the religion is teaching, how accordingly she's acting for it, like where she's changing her dress code, all those kind of things. It's like very, very well organized. So no trafficking at all in here. Anyway, let's listen to the Times interview, and then we will bring our attention to, this is just like reminding what was happening 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago now. And then we kind of pick up from there.
One of the Bethnal Green girls, right?
Yes, I'm one of the Bethnal Green girls. We crossed the borders and we were in a house full of women for about a week. We realized who we were, that we were the 3 girls, and they took us to a house, a man's house with his wife, and we stayed there for another week. And they didn't tell us why we were. We kept asking his wife why we're here. We want to go to the house of women. We want to see our friend. And she didn't say anything to us. And then afterwards, we found out that it was because they suspected we were spies. I was there for only 3 weeks, because after that I got married.
Then you lived together in Raqqa or somewhere else?
No.
What was that like? Was that an experience which fulfilled your aspirations of what it was?
Yeah, it actually really did. It was like a normal life. The life that they show on the propaganda videos, you know, it's a normal life. But every now and then there were bombs and stuff.
Did you ever see executions?
No, I never. No, but I saw a beheaded head in the bin.
In the bins?
Yeah, it's really bin.
What was that like when you first saw that? These are the heads of captives?
Yeah. Didn't faze me at all.
Where were you when you heard that Khadija had been killed?
In Raqqa.
Do you know how she died?
Her house was bombed because underground there was like some secret stuff going on, and a spy had. They figured out that something was going on, so her house got bombed and other people got killed as well. I never thought like it would happen. At first I was in denial, because I always thought if we ever did get killed, we would get killed together. I have to think about my baby as well. After my 2 kids died, now I'm really overprotective of this baby. I'm scared that this baby's going to get sick in this camp. That's why I really want to get back to Britain, because I know it will be taken care of. like health-wise at least.
How is it losing two children so close to each other? Can't have been left unfazed by that.
It was really, it came as a shock. It just came out of nowhere. It was so hard.
On the one hand, the severed head unfazed you, and on the other hand, you are angry about oppression.
Because it's one thing, because you have to remember that these people, their beliefs are that you kill the non-Muslims, but you treat the Muslims, good. But now here you are. And my husband said while he was in prison, there were men that they were being tortured so badly that they were just like, I'm just going to admit to being a spy so they can kill me.
Of course.
So Dawla has actually killed Muslims.
You're describing mixed feelings about Dawlat then.
Yeah.
On the one hand, you didn't regret coming to be part of the caliphate.
I don't regret it.
But on the other hand,
But when I came and I saw that there was like underground oppression and all this happening, it came as a shock to me, like this is actually happening.
when was the last time you spoke to your mother?
I spoke to her when I was in Kishma. Just before they took Kishma, I was in Kishma and I called her on the phone and I said I want to leave. I need help. If you get to camps, I need them to be able to support me in my choice to come back to the UK.
When did you last see a doctor?
When I first came here, the coach ride was really horrible. It was really hot and stuff. So I thought this had started and I was bleeding, so they took me to the hospital. I was in the hospital for 5 days and they brought me back.
When is your baby due?
Officially 9 months. I should be giving birth any day now. Especially with this stressful situation, I will probably give birth soon.
Do you think this is the end of the caliphate?
Yeah, I really do. I don't have high hopes. They're just getting smaller and smaller. There's so much oppression and corruption going on that I don't really think they deserve victory.
You can't have been.
They figured out that
So she saw Caliphate is about to finish, and then she calls her mom, help me get out here. And then they decide, okay, you get to the camp, we will figure that out from there. She saw heads in bins. It didn't faze me at all. And another thing to pick up, they are just housewife. But her friend who was killed, apparently under her house, there are some activities going on that her house is got bombed. You are just housewife, but under house, you've got like basement. And in that basement, some stuff is happening. And oh, poor girl, she was living normal life. Time to time, bombs are just falling around, and then she's seeing heads in the bin, just normal life, But now, I need to get my child to UK. Why? Because they've got free health service. If she knew like our NHS is like struggling and striking these days, she was like, I should have think twice.
I don't know if that's her definition of normal life, then I'm sorry, but that's pure evil, in my opinion. If you think that's normal life, not being faced by dead bodies in bins, no matter who it is, she just said it did not faze me at all.
So that phrase is, I think, helpful for us. Remember, so she sees dead bodies, like just heads in the bin, not even in the grave or anything, and it didn't even faze her. And then on Wednesday's interview, she says, well, under the caliphate, they didn't have mint chocolate. It is tragedy. So that's a tragedy, to not having mint chocolate, but seeing heads in the bin is absolutely fine. Just like any other day, I was just walking to the shop in front of M&S. I just saw, oh, there are heads. That's okay. It's not my head. So I am comfortable. I'll just get on with my things.
Remember, sister, that was during the time that was good, when she was saying things were fine.
Yeah. Normal life. That's like normal life.
That's not when it turned ugly. That's the normal. That's when she was happy that she was there. And normal life includes thinking, oh, if we die together. I don't think that, sister, every day. Oh, if I die in battle or whatever, for whatever reason, I will die together with my friends. Oh, my friend just happened to die. I wasn't really shocked.
Yeah, it
That's
happened.
not
And like,
life.
yeah, she got married like within like 3 weeks after she arrived there. Within
Right.
2 weeks, she met like man of her life. And she was asked, she said, I don't regret coming. I don't regret. So no regret, no remorse.
She's just scared that the baby will get sick in this camp. So she wants to go to the UK for healthcare.
Yeah.
So that she can get healthy and her baby can get healthy, and then do what?
But beloved, remember couple of years ago we did live stream on another ISIS bride.
Yeah.
She came to UK. She lost her hand
Yes.
in a bombing. Yeah, she's correct. Like, come to UK, government spends money, £450,000, and then provides house for them, and then fix their broken body parts, or like, what was the thing they put on her arm? Like she lost her hand, and then with the taxpayers' money, we provided her new hand.
Yeah, she had a prosthetic. Very lifelike, by the way. Very good job, I have to say, from the pictures that I saw.
Yeah.
And her house is bigger than, twice as big as mine. The one that the state gave to her.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to work.
Yeah, her house was like £450 or £500,000. And now, like, they know, yeah, if we go to UK, they will look after us. We've got the examples in the past, and now, yep, go to UK, they will look after us.
The question is why the UK?
Well, I want to go to Britain. I know I will be taken care of.
I don't want my neighbor to have had dead bodies in the bin and not to have been fazed by it. That would give me nightmares.
So, and this interview took place 4 years after she was under the Islamic State. 4 years after, when she was 15, this is when she's 19. When she's 19. So being Muslim is a good thing in this country. You can get away with lots of things. Okay. So remove. Beloved,
Yes,
would you
Tati.
like to talk about that BBC Radio 5 interview?
Yeah, I was really disappointed they paid all that money to send somebody to go to trace back the trail, how basically giving details of how someone could have been smuggled from Turkey to Syria during those times, and uncovered a criminal underworld where people were smuggled, and people were, secretly smuggling people of all nationalities. People didn't want to talk about it, didn't want to say who they were, all that stuff. And to me, it seemed like a distraction from the issue. Doesn't really matter how she got there, and why does that matter? What matters is she got there, and she intended to get there for the reasons that she did. There was no false pretenses. There wasn't a fraud element. There wasn't coercion. She knew why. She knew why she wanted to get there. She knew how to get there. She researched it. She knew what it would be like when she left. And in fact, she was quite happy there for a while when ISIS was doing well. Even her family, she said that they told her to come back. She didn't want to come back. Only when things started becoming a bit difficult. So that's my impression, sister. I don't know what your impression was.
Okay, I'm just gonna so I cannot play the video, Okay, therefore, present share screen. Therefore, I'm just going to show you on the screen where it is. So this is on BBC 5, BBC Radio 5. It is altogether 10 part. This is, they just published yesterday second part. Every Wednesday they publish the next part. Okay, it is called I Am Not a Monster. First part titled It Felt Like a Dream. Second part is called The Point of No Return. And I just wanted to remind again, into this interview, journalists to travel to Syria and interview Shamima Begum cost taxpayers £10,000. Okay, and her legal case is costing taxpayers approximate 5 million. So you think about that and reflect on it. So 10 part, it just breaks my heart. None of the Yazidis are being interviewed. It breaks my heart. None of the Christians are being interviewed, but 10 episodes of 30 minutes giving platform to someone who wanted to be citizen of another country, and it didn't faze her to see head of people in the bin.
Yeah, I want to hear from the victims. Why are they not being given a voice? Why is the wife of a ISIS jihadi being given a voice? That's the question.
Okay. I actually practically don't know how I'm going to do this part, so we will work through together. So, BBC journalist, I really want you to listen it because I can't play it. BBC wouldn't allow me to do so stuff, but also it's like audio. BBC journalist wants to kind of figure out what is happening, okay? Overall, her point of journalist is we want to hear her story. Remember, like now it become fashion. Everyone wants to share their own story, full story, own story. That's what is happening in royal family, as well as that's what's happening with the bride of ISIS. Theologically, I want us to reflect on something theologically, okay? When ISIS fighters, member of the Islamic Caliphate, their fighters die in the battle, for the sake of Allah, they are identified as martyrs. And they get direct access to Islamic paradise. Also according to Abu Dawud 25:22, that they can intercede for 70 of their relatives. Okay? So if, sake of the argument, I went to be part of ISIS and then married jihadi and my husband died in the battle, on the day of judgment, he can intercede for me and then I can make into the paradise. So because Islam doesn't offer that much to the woman, therefore sometimes Muslims might be thinking, okay, this might be my only solution. I go and marry and please a jihadi, when he dies, he can intercede for me so I can get to Islamic paradise easily. Keep that in your mind because we usually forget that part. Did I give you the wrong hadith, sister?
No,
Okay, because you've got Sahih Hadith Abu Dawud. When I thought it was okay, yeah. So you've got like in here Hassan Hadith, but you've got Sahih Hadith as Abu Dawud
Yes.
25:22, where like jihadi can intercede for 70 relatives. So it's a good deal. So you go and then you kind of, I'll please my husband, and then he will die, and then he will remember me on the day of judgment. That in mind, so 15-year-old girl decides to go, and BBC decides to let us make to hear the full story from her side. what do you think when people tell the full story, sister? How usually it comes out?
It comes out like the self-obsessed narcissists is what it comes out like, sister. It comes out, obviously, people try to make themselves look good, I guess. But even with all that in consideration, it doesn't sound good in this case at all. If anything, it makes me want to recoil from it. It makes me feel a chilling, just a rejection of it, and the lack of remorse, the lack of regret is even more chilling, and it makes me be more confident in my conviction that this is evil and that there is no change. What happened was a change of circumstance, and life became uncomfortable, and so the self-absorbed person wanted to return to a comfortable life regardless of the consequences. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
If I had heard something like I was wrong, the ideology was wrong, it was evil, I don't know how I did that. I don't know how I tolerated, corpses in the bin as if it was normal. I want to give that up. I don't think these things anymore. She said towards the end, I don't have high hopes, when he asked her about the fall of ISIS, as if her high hopes would have been that it would have stayed strong. So, it's not very difficult to see what's going on here. And, I'm a generous person, but I do not allow evil in my house to feed and to make strong. I do not allow an evil to enter my house.
So I guess point will that be if you've got like corruption or corrupted being in your house and person is not intentionally not changing, that corruption will rub on you as well. So therefore, when we see evil, we identify and then we want to get our distance. Okay, so we listened the interview together. I think it was last week. What were your first reactions, sister, from that like 30 minutes interview?
My first reaction is, you mean the Channel 5?
Yeah, Radio 5, yeah.
Radio 5, sorry. Well, the title itself, I'm Not a Monster. It tells me everything I want to know. They're trying to whitewash this person. That's what the impression I get. I obviously haven't listened to all of it yet. But from the first episode, they mentioned, the point of no return. After a certain point, you can't change your mind. There must have been some coercion there. Then she must have gotten too deep and didn't want to talk about coming back, but she didn't want to come back. But that's the narrative they're peddling now. And I'm wondering why. To whose interest is it that you're trying to whitewash this person? And why is it that the true narrative from her own lips is not being shared as publicly? Why is it now changing to perhaps that she was coerced, when she said quite clearly she doesn't regret it, even way after she said she had a good time for a long while. And she said, I don't regret it. It made me tougher, it made me stronger. But now I want to get back because I've, at the time she had a kid that needed healthcare. So I don't like the narrative change, and I wonder to whose interest it is that this is happening.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is, as I said, I'm sorry I can't play the video for you, but I will bring up a couple of things in the chronological order of the video, so that when you kind of listen to the video, it will make sense to you. So actually, I've got the script in here. Let me see if I can put the script on the floor. Transcript on the screen.
Sister, a Muslim is telling me to get back to the kitchen and stop talking.
Well, because they think when they put their wives in the kitchen, that's what it is for.
Why does everyone want me in the kitchen, sister? Not fair. Why can't I?
Like it actually says a lot about Islamic view of woman. So they believe, okay, you marry off, you are silent anymore, you don't speak and you don't think. You get into kitchen, you cook, you don't think, and you are not like doing anything. You are just like cooking and cooking. Value of the woman is in the kitchen versus, according to the Bible, men and women are made in the image of God. And the place God of Bible gives to the woman is not kitchen. It is not kitchen at all. Proverbs 31 is a place where woman needs to be. It's just such a shame that Islamic view kind of thinks put the woman in the kitchen, so woman doesn't think at all. Versus in the Bible, men and woman share life together. Such a disturbing things. Well, this woman was your sister Shamima Begum was in the kitchen. It doesn't look like she did good jobs. It didn't help her good jobs. And when you actually listen her interview for the first part, you can see, you can even see in her interview how they are talking about the prayer room in the school. Do you remember, sister, that part? Yeah, how they were actually using the prayer room for the different purposes. When she went to become ISIS, wife of ISIS, after 3 weeks, that happened. 3 weeks after she arrives to Syria, she becomes the wife of ISIS. Well, she was in the kitchen. She was in the bedroom making babies, in the kitchen cooking. But now she was like, I want to go back. I want to go back. Why? Because it's a tragedy. They don't have mint chocolate under the Islamic Caliphate. It's a tragedy.
Yeah, she's having a normal life. She's in the kitchen. She's in the bedroom making babies. She's taking out the bins.
And then seeing the heads in the bin. Yeah, normal life.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry that I don't like that life.
It's not you don't like that life. The life God given to you is not fulfilled in the kitchen. We are content in Christ. It's just like such a stupid mindset makes such a stupid comment. I'm sorry, Rakan, that you left your brain in somewhere else. But I was going to share the screen. I forgot.
You're really not making your religion look good at all, or the women in your religion, if you think they all belong to the kitchen.
Don't say that, sister. You are becoming like Andrew Tate, who represents Islam.
Do you not have a high value of your mother in your own eyes, or your sisters?
His mom's job is to like make more babies and then cook more biryanis. That's the job of mother. Okay, so this is the transcript. Just ignore the spelling mistakes, okay?
Wow, you wrote all that, sister?
Do you think I wrote it, sister? I was just working in the kitchen to making biryanis, and then I just like noticed one of my hand is like doing typing.
That's amazing, sister.
I know, yeah. This is like, because I'm not Muslim woman, so if Muslim woman is in the kitchen, only focus is like chopping the onions, versus non-Muslim woman can do many things at the same time. Okay, I'm just gonna highlight a couple of things, okay? And then, beloved, if I miss something, just jump in, okay?
Okay.
So she was asked, tell me the day you left, okay, by the journalist.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what she said in that conversation, sister?
No.
Yeah, so she expressed that she told her mother that she's going to do something about GCSEs at school, like that's like part of preparing for the exams. So she needs to go do some study. And then her mom, so she lies to her mom. Her mom takes her to the bus stop. Bus comes, and then she goes to her friend's house. 3 girls are leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Is the part I want to, your thoughts on, beloved.
Mm.
So she was just staring at me and saying nothing, not saying anything. I just said goodbye to her and got on the bus and left. And I feel really guilty, obviously, not giving her a better or goodbye, knowing that I probably never see her again.
It just shows that she's a cold person from the beginning, sister. Yeah, I'm never gonna see my mom again. Goodbye. Didn't even lie to her mom. Didn't think that her mom, if this is a true story, if this is what happened, she didn't think that her mom would be beside herself with worry when she doesn't come back. Didn't think that far. The complete lack of consideration for her mother, like sociopathic almost. People who don't think of what other people are feeling, they have a complete lack of empathy. It's a sociopathic thinking, and it's very. You just worry that when you don't put yourself in other people's shoes, you have no regard for their feelings, emotions, even if they're your mother, then how is she going to treat others? It's no wonder that she didn't feel fazed by bodies in the bin. She doesn't have emotional empathy.
Yeah. Also, other part I thought on this is like she knew she's not going to see her mother again. When she left, she knew she's not coming back.
Yeah.
She knew she's not coming back. Okay.
Meditation.
Yeah.
So she wasn't groomed. It's not like she turned up there and they're keeping me. No, she knew.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I knew like I'm not gonna see her again.
And she lied because she knew if she was telling the truth, her mom would have stopped her. Correct?
Well, I will challenge that because she's already, remember, she in the interviews she already expressed that she's been in touch with her mom. They asked her to come back, blah blah. But there are a couple of kind of concerning things in the interview came in the first part. Okay, so they're at the airport, and then she's been asked like, "Oh, what is going on your head?" So journalist is asking, "Okay, so you are at the airport. What were your thoughts?" Her response is, I felt like a dream almost. So it's her dream come true.
Wow.
She's like getting ready to go, and my dream come true. Do you think you will ever come back to Britain? I thought this was the last time I am going to see UK. And I felt kind of relieved. Think that, okay?
So she knew.
Do you think you are going to come back to UK? Did you think like that's going to happen? Well, I thought this was the last time I am at the airport now. And last time I'm seeing this country. And the journalist is asking, did that worry you? And then she says like, I felt kind of relieved.
So why does she want to come back now?
Well, you told me why she wanted to come back. Because we've got carrying government to the Muslim people.
It's just sickening, sister. It's just sickening.
Do you remember part on the day when like when news kind of came onto the social media, onto the news?
Yep.
So now everyone kind of find out they left.
Mm-hmm.
It's February 2015, and the journalist is in East London Mosque. Okay, he's already doing stuff over there, and then suddenly kind of things pop up. And then in that, like when you listen to the recording, journalist is talking to people in East London Mosque. Okay, suddenly this guy who is the head of the press in East London Mosque, suddenly he's got an email comes from the older sister of Shamima Begum. She's asking for help, and she's calling. And then journalist says, Muslim guy says, okay, do you want to come here so we can talk in private? And then she says, no, I can't come because like there is media outside of my house.
Talk in private about what? Why is it private? Your daughter is like gone.
Your sister.
Sister, sorry.
Yeah.
Your sister is gone, and according to her story, her mom didn't know. Nobody knew.
So
And
she's calling to mosque for help.
right,
Well,
because mosque. What would mosque do?
yeah, why is the mosque?
Why is the
Or
mosque?
why is the East London mosque? Okay. Why is that mosque? Why the mosque is being called? Why you are not calling the police and then asking for help?
Yeah,
Or-
if
Yeah.
someone from my family is missing or gone somewhere, why would I call the church? I call the police to help me find them.
Yeah, and then you call church to kind of inform them stuff. But in here, like she's asking for help.
Prayer. Yeah, it's not prayer that she's asking for,
Yeah.
like you would ask the church for.
Yeah.
It's no. And
She says like the gentleman says she wants the mosque's help.
yeah, because they've got certain people on speed dial in Syria. That's what it is.
Mosque, I need your help. Come and help me, but I can't come there. Why? Because Mehdi is outside there. So I need your help now. I need to figure out what's happening. And then very strange thing is like guy says, okay, we are gonna do everything. Then we are gonna do all we can to bring her back, blah blah. And then in that conversation, where is that part? Like the guy says, like when the conversation finished, guy says, I'm hoping they're all right, they are safe. Like I hope they arrived safely there. I've got two sisters. Like I know they are there. I hope they arrived there safe.
Well, 3 weeks after she arrived, she got married.
Yeah.
So I don't know what safe means. And I think some of those girls died too.
Okay. And then she gives a birth to baby boy, and then she shows little remorse about joining ISIS, a group responsible for genocide. I don't regret because it's changed me as a person. It made me stronger, tougher. You know, I married my husband. I wouldn't find someone like him back in UK. So that is, she's telling that in the interview. So you need to travel all the way to Syria because all UK is run out of Muslim men, and you are only 15.
No, she doesn't want any Muslim men. She wants one that does that job for ISIS. She wants her normal life to be like it was, like she was happy then. Seeing dead bodies in bins and hearing about executions and not being fazed by it. That's the life she wanted, really, because she said she was happy in that time. Things were good back then.
Yeah.
According to her words, not mine.
Yeah. And you expressed that a little bit earlier. Savit Jayed, previous Home Secretary, who get rid of her, revoked her citizenship. He said, let me say this, and I think you did know what I knew, you would have made the same decision I did.
Yeah, what does he know? Why can't we know?
There are certain things you don't need to know, sister. There are certain things are like kind of top secret.
Because the consequences will be on us if she happens to be my neighbor, lives in my city. I need to know this information. What kind of person? What kind of thing that he knows that if we knew, we would be like, oh, don't bring her back. What is it?
No, so he made that. Go on.
What? So obviously she's not. I'm just reading into what he's saying. If she was just a housewife, would he have made that comment?
No.
So what more does he know about her that she did in that time? That's the question.
So whatever he knew, he says, if we knew that, we would be making the same decision. And then, of course, there were informations were circulating around that she was doing suicide vests. But
What does that
of
mean?
course, she denies this.
So that information just happened to be from nothing? Someone made it up?
Yeah, she denies that. Like if she says I didn't do it, then she didn't do it. That's how it is, sister.
Well, it's
You-
very funny, sister, actually. She didn't say I didn't do anything dangerous. She said they have no proof.
They have no evidence.
That's what she said. Now, an innocent person, in my opinion, would say I didn't do it. But anyway, let's move on.
And then I highlighted this part where the journalist expressing conditions of the camp interview room.
Cheap, stiff, bulky armchairs are positioned against the wall. I'm sorry, did she expect Buckingham Palace in Assyria? I don't understand what.
Probably. It's just like he's just like expressing. This is what journalist is kind of saying. He's just expressing living conditions are in that camp is like very bad. It's like bad armchairs. Coffee is like too much sugar. It's just like not good for your tooth. She shouldn't be there. She's just like
Not good for the teeth. Is that the issue?
that's what he thought it was important. Anyway, while she's in the camp, of course, she's doing exercises.
Yeah, sister, I've seen her latest picture.
I'm gonna show. Let me show that picture. I'll show that picture when it comes to the dress code. Okay. So she's doing exercises. She's like happily living there, and then she kind of thinks she's been asked like, okay, how are the things going? She lives in a dusty tent near to the camp. The place sort of purgatory for her. Poor girl. She's not in Buckingham Palace of Syria, sister.
Like, seriously, what did you think? What did you think was going to be there?
Well, she says, I feel like worse than prison sentence. Because it is at least with prison sentences, you know that there will be an end. But here, you don't know if it's going to be end. Poor girl, it just breaks my heart. Like,
There's no end. But she said, I'm not going to see the UK again. She knew there'd be no end.
well, I don't know, sister. This is
right. Am I seeing things, sister? She said, I'm never going to see my mom again.
yeah, and then like listen to the next conversation. Journalists ask, do you have any idea how long you might be held here or any of that notion? And then she says, indefinitely, I guess. I don't know. Like, she knows she's there indefinitely. So like that prison sentence, 5 years prison versus she's that indefinite.
That's the life she wanted. She wanted to live under that state. So there you go. That's the state.
Yeah, this is the highlight of all of the interview. Okay.
Yeah, like when I'm living here, sister, in the UK. I don't think, oh, is there an end to this? I chose to live under this country. She went to the Islamic State. She knew it was going to be indefinitely. She said she wanted to live under that state.
But now, so this is the victim now. Okay, now like she's gonna break all of our hearts. Are you ready for your heart to be broken, sister?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Are you sure you are ready your heart to be broken, sister? It's gonna be like so like smashing. Okay.
Yeah.
So journalist is saying, I am curious about how you think people perceive you as a danger, as a risk, as a potential risk to them, to their safety, to their way of living. Journalist wants to know what she thinks, okay? People think you are danger, you are risk, you are potential risk to them. What do you think? This is the like heart-crushing moment, okay? I am not a bad person. I am not this person they think I am being perceived as in the media. You know, I am just more than that. I am more than ISIS. I am so much more than everything that I have been through.
Yeah, that's my worry. I'm worried that she's much more than this, because the little that I've seen is enough. And
But
it's
she's
not
not
that you're,
bad person. She's not bad person, sister.
well, it depends what your definition.
More than that. I'm not like ISIS. I am more than ISIS.
So what is the definition of bad?
Well, apparently it's not bad to kind of see the beheaded heads in the bin and not face.
So it's not bad to lie to your mom,
Yeah.
go not tell her that you'll never see her again, not be worried that you'll never see the UK again, go live under a state, get married in 3 weeks, join a terrorist state that committed genocide, and then say that you don't regret it. It's not bad. All that is not bad. So I'd like to know what bad is.
So it's not. She's not a bad person, sister. I told you this is going to crush your heart.
And it's not
crush. Like she's like 21 years old. Okay. Choose to go and live under the Islamic State, and people who went to live under the Islamic State, they burn their passport. Okay. She had a son, and her son was one of the warriors in the time of Muhammad, who has been promised Islamic paradise. She shows no regret. She's so like happy that like it made her the person she is, and she's more than ISIS. Okay, she's been through a lot, like poor girl. And then journalist says this was like very awful journalist. Okay, do you understand why society has so much anger towards you? Yes, I understand. But it is. I don't think it is actually towards me. Sister, people's anger is not towards her.
Oh, okay.
It is towards ISIS.
Okay, so what did she join? Like the gym? She joined ISIS.
You will see it's a gym because
so why is she different?
In 2019 she becomes Tina in 2022.
She talks about ISIS as we. She said when we lost that state. I don't have high hopes that they will have victory. She said high hopes. She said she was happy living under it. She joined it. So why is she different from it, ISIS? I'm trying to like really, because she thinks it's us, our perception. It's not our perception, it's her words.
I told you, but it's going to break your heart, okay?
It's breaking my brain right now.
Sister, keep your brain. It needs to affect you emotionally, okay? Because that's what BBC wants to do. Give you emotional effect, okay? Yes, I understand that people have anger towards me, but I don't think it's actually towards me. I think it's towards ISIS. But when you think of ISIS, when they think of ISIS, they think of me. Because I have been put on the media so much. But they only did that because you choose to go to ISIS. But what was there to obsess over? So this is what she says, okay? What was there to obsess over? We went to ISIS. That was it.
Wow.
It was over. It was over and done with. What is what is there to say? What is more there to say? Like they just wanted to continue the story because it was a story. It was the big story, but you did join the terrorist group. Yes? Yes, I did. So this part like just crushed my heart. Okay, why are you so obsessed with? I went to join ISIS, so I did. That was it. It's done. It's done. Like finished now. Let's get on with the life. The life I want is like free house, national health service, all this like free bus passes, all thing in UK. Why are you so obsessed with?
So joining a terrorist group that commits genocide and puts people's decapitated heads in bins is no big deal. I joined it, that's it.
So that's it. Why are you making big deal? She says it was over. So we went there. And then it's over. Get over with it.
So the problem is the media. The problem is when her actions came to light. If nobody knew about her, she would have been fine. So that's the issue, is that she got found out, she got caught. Plus, she's propagating the media by appealing her case so publicly. So actually, she's using the media now to get her narrative out there.
Yeah.
So how can she blame the media now for the consequences she's facing?
Yeah, she says like, yeah, it's media. It's like I went there. Okay, so I went there. I went to ISIS. That was it.
Okay, no big deal.
No big deal. Like, why are you making a big deal? Because you want the story.
It's not a story, it's what happened. It's not a story like a storybook, a movie. It's what happened. Those victims of ISIS are real people. Real. Those bodies in the bins were real people. That she thought was normal and she wasn't fazed by it.
All the journalists who were beheaded, all men and women who were beheaded, women who were being used. Remember this Christian missionary? She was used as a sex slave and then they killed her.
Yeah.
And now she says, why are you so obsessed about it? We went to ISIS, that was it, it's over. It was over and done with it. Why are you continuing? That's what it is. And then journalists, soon after that statement, this is what the journalist says, okay? I sat with terrorists, met with spies, tracked down people who knew her when she was with ISIS. Because there are different ways to tell Shamima Begum's story. There is the one about a schoolgirl who was groomed and lured as a war zone by ISIS and now needs saving from the detention camp. Okay? We've got this girl, schoolgirl, who is being groomed and in a war zone and needs our saving power from the detention camp. Or other one, traitor choose to join the group and must be stopped ever coming back to UK. Someone knew the world over as a terrorist and monster. So I wanted to know who was Shamima Begum.
So this journalist still doesn't know who she is after all that. After there's just the first page of her talking.
Yeah.
He still doesn't know.
Yeah.
And still titling his thing, I'm Not a Monster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why are we obsessed about it? She's like, we went to ISIS, we've done it, and it's over now.
I think she thinks she's confusing the word obsessed with horrified. She doesn't understand why people are horrified, and that's a problem. We did mention a few words before, sister: sociopathic behavior, narcissistic, just the fringes of human psyche is this scary, scary disregard for normal and for a normal moral reaction. For someone to say, I joined a terrorist group, so what, it's finished. Again, I keep using that word, chilling. This is someone that will, I don't want to say, sister. Watch some documentaries where they interview people who have murdered and done things, and they speak. The way they speak is also chilling.
But sadly, they won't get platform. Yazidi women won't get platform by BBC. Christians won't get platform by BBC. But Muslim girl who kind of says, just get over with it, will get platform with BBC. So remember, her sister called the mosque for help. And then mosque calls a lawyer. Okay? They've got like amazing connections. They call the lawyer who is involved with the terrorism cases before.
Well, I'm sure they use them a lot, sister.
Okay.
I've got them on speed dial. Oh.
Okay. Yeah. If you are involved with terrorism and if you need a lawyer, get in touch with London, East London Mosque and then
Yeah.
they will put you in touch with the right lawyers. No need comment on that. I think that's
I can tell you something, sister. My church, they don't even know they wouldn't even know where to start if I asked them for, oh, by the way, I need an anti-terrorism lawyer, please. No church, I don't think, has ever been involved with these kind of connections that I know of, sister. They would be horrified.
so.
But this is normal, obviously, normal procedure.
Yeah, apparently, like, anyway, so they've got these connections. That's a good thing. That's a positive thing, okay? And then now what lawyer does is lawyer go through her flat. 3 girls live. They go through this 3 girls house trying to find like some things which helps them to connect things, okay? Do you remember this part, sister?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
They found. Oh, you
this
gonna
is
tell?
another heartbreaking. This is
Okay.
another heartbreaking thing.
You tell, sister.
I'll tell my heartbreaking stories. Okay, so they go through all the house, okay?
Uh-huh.
There were no receipts. There were no phone bills. Most of their clothes were in place. There was no indication of any sort of planning, any sort of outside contact, or anything written or electronic. So they did like very clean job, okay? They like cleared up everything.
Wow, those 15-year-old girls.
What
Amazing.
does this tell you? Well, I am a criminal lawyer. I've been working with this job like for 20 years, and I deal with the criminals on every level. And the criminals tend to want to avoid being caught. But I never seen anything so truly dry cleaned of evidence or information. Those teenagers left behind, okay, managed to do. So he's like very surprised by it. He's been lawyer for 20 years. He's like looked cases from many different levels, but he never seen anything so like clear. And then it expressed that shows a level of commitment.
It doesn't show a level of being groomed, does it?
No, commitment, sister.
I've never seen someone being groomed do a clean sweep of evidence before they leave to be groomed.
It says like it shows a level of commitment. So those were intelligent girls who were committed to plan to live. And they had a great trust on the person whom they were speaking to. Okay, there is a like.
That just again gives me a chilling feeling. If they can do that at 15, I shudder to think what they can do. Anyway, go on, sister.
Okay, so this part is like when she was like so calling her friend dumb. Okay, so they didn't leave anything behind.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just show where I am reading. Just ignore the spelling mistake stuff. I'll just try to make sense what I wrote, what is written there. So they left nothing behind. Well, almost nothing. Shamina's house, she wasn't maybe as careful as the others. There was a scrap of paper that we find with a shopping list on it. Okay, so it has a list: bag, makeup, boots, socks, phone, all those kind of things. And then next to each of them, like you got the name, like who's gonna buy who. For example, phone is like 75 pounds, taxi is 100 pounds, kind of such a kind of normal shopping list. And then also like a little bit Turkish, like kind of ticket stuff there. The list shows that Shamima and her friend didn't just run off the ISIS. They had a plan. Okay? So even though they left this list behind by mistake, but it shows like they planned everything. They went to websites to figure out how do you say ticket in Turkish. They searched how much phone cost. They searched what is the price for the socks. And then taxi, all those details, okay? And then here's the funny part. It's not funny though, but it is heartbreaking. Like you got to see like this heartbreaking part. Um, so, journalist is saying to Shamima Begum, a list was found in your bedroom, and it was just that was not found. So, journalist saying, okay, they find a list in your bedroom. Okay, he's gonna ask questions about that list, and Shamima Begum is like, no, that wasn't in my bedroom. That was in my friend's bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
So media, lawyer, and police is giving the information. They have a shopping list from Shamima's bedroom, and Shamima says, no, that wasn't from my bedroom. That was from my friend's bedroom. And then journalist, but I thought it was yours. And then she corrects the journalist and then says, no, it wasn't mine. Trust me. We all looked at it. Okay?
Wow.
Remember, she didn't have internet. She didn't have phone or anything. But
Wow.
they got access to that list. And then they checked it. Okay? We all looked at it. We were like, this is my friend's handwriting. Sorry, that's like her friend's handwriting.
Yeah.
This is Amira's handwriting. Dumbass. Leaving this kind of stuff around. That
Wow.
was, hold on. We all looked at it. It wasn't my handwriting. It was my friend's handwriting. She's dumb. I'm not dumb.
She's dumb. I'm not dumb. There was a picture of it on the internet, and we were all like, let's examine this and see who was the culprit. It was just a dumb moment. We're like, we tried so hard to be so, clear up our tracks because one of us was stupid. So, so one let the side down.
Yeah.
Shamima wasn't happy about it. She's like, oh man, we tried to wipe out the evidence, and the stupid person who had a dumb moment let us down. It sounds like a does that sound like a person you want to
No, it's just like taking time to go through that list and then saying, well, I am clever. I'm not gonna leave such a list behind. It is just that my dumb friend, she did that. And then journalist says like, why did you leave the list? Like, what is the problem? And then she says, well, it was just embarrassing because of the content of the list. So why would you think it is embarrassing what is in that list? In that list, you've got socks, phone, taxi.
Because it shows it was premeditated, planned to the T. And it also shows, sister, that nobody groomed anyone. These were collectively planning very meticulously, then getting rid of the evidence. And the lawyer said they even wiped out things electronically. So all the searches they did online, the people that they were talking to, deleted everything. Everything was wiped clean. And that stupid person in a dumb moment let the gang down.
Yeah.
So she's saying that now with hindsight.
Yeah, and she says like, I'm not dumb, like, I'm clever. I'm not gonna leave this behind. It's like my dumb friend.
Yeah, it's like when you have criminals come together and they say, okay, who made this mistake that we got caught? That wasn't me. It was this other dumb friend. I wouldn't be dumb enough to leave evidence.
I'm clever.
This is under the title, I'm not a monster, people. This is the age we're living in right now. I'm not a monster.
Okay, this is another heartbreaking part, okay? So you go and then you go and then express you want to live under the caliphate. Of course, like it's like you're going to holiday, okay? You need to pack well.
Mm-hmm.
Daughter of Christ, how is your packing skills?
They're not as good as yours, sister.
What do you mean, sister?
You pack, I don't know, your suitcase is like so small, you can just put it under the chair or put it in hand luggage, but it has everything. You open it, everything is there. I don't know how you do it, sister. Me, I have 2 coats and it takes like a whole massive suitcase and and it's so heavy. So my packing skills are terrible.
So what do you think, what are the things essential if you are traveling to another country?
You pack some clothes, pack your passport, you pack some toiletries, maybe, depending on the climate of the country, and how warm or cold it is.
Yeah.
So
So Shamima Begum did the packing too. Okay,
right.
people told her bring some nice clothes so that
Mhm.
you can dress nicely for your husband.
Oh God. Oh. So
I
she
don't
knew. So
I
she
don't know
knew.
what that means. She says, I don't know. I don't know what that means.
She
Did
knows
you
full
buy
well.
it?
She knows
So,
full well. She got 3 kids.
well,
Knows full well what that means.
she says she didn't know. So,
Okay.
and then she said, I'm not going. So guy says, did you buy anything else? Guy says, I'm not gonna lie, candy. No, I just bought candy. Mint chocolate, like a lot. How much is that? A lot. A lot. I don't even know. Like 30 bars, not those big bars, but like 30 bars. Okay, you can find a lot of things in ISIS and is in this country. You can find a lot of things in this country, but you can't find mint chocolate, and that is tragedy. It's tragedy.
Wow. In the whole situation, that's the only time she used the word tragedy for
Yeah.
mint chocolate.
Yeah. So seeing the heads in the bin,
That's normal.
not tragedy. That's like
No.
normal daily life. Knowing her friend died, who had some secret things happening under her house.
Mhm.
Her kids died. But
Yeah, she didn't even use the word tragedy when her own children died.
yeah, and like she wants to come to UK for better life. Still not tragedy, but not having mint chocolate under Islamic Caliphate, that's a tragedy.
Wow.
So what is the moral lesson?
And
Wherever you go, you pack mint chocolate.
it's just deranged. And this is called I am not a monster. I just
Yeah.
need to keep reiterating this.
So the person who is not a monster is quite okay, doesn't even phase when sees heads in the bin. Quite okay. Even like in the camps, like she stayed, people were burned in those camps. Tents are being burned. That's absolutely fine. But sadly, disgraceful to Islamic Caliphate, they don't have mint chocolate. It's not even any chocolate. It's like mint chocolate, sister.
I've never had mint chocolate, sister. I don't even, when I use the word tragedy and chocolate, I don't put them together. Like I'm just I don't know if I'm like a different species to the person talking.
I'm not good with the chocolate things, but like putting mint into chocolate doesn't look right at all. Like mint is like mint, chocolate is like sweet something, and then they mix it. I would say that's a tragedy, but she thinks not having that, it's a tragedy.
So not seeing her mom again, she didn't use the word tragedy then.
No, not saying goodbye to her mom, not a tragedy. Not seeing her mom again, not a tragedy. Being relieved that she's not going to come back to UK, it's not a tragedy. Kids dies, not a tragedy.
Having joined a terrorist group, not a
Not a
tragedy.
But
Mint chocolate is
mint chocolate, that's a tragedy.
another again, sister, chilling. Was she eating those mint chocolates over those bins? You have to put the wrapper somewhere. Just cold.
Why don't they have chocolate in like ISIS? Like everything is like, she said it was like so normal, beautiful life, and then now they didn't have mint chocolate. It's
I
not
don't
like
know.
they didn't have schools for kids. They didn't have like all these things. But
Just my blood runs cold listening to this.
they had a market. They had a market to sell and buy
Human beings.
human beings, but they didn't have a market to sell mint chocolate.
Yeah, she doesn't like when she goes to the market, she finds women being sold. But where is the mint though? They don't have those on the shelves. Sickening.
And BBC journalist brings our attention to one of her friends. So they interview someone from the school. And then she talks about like what Shamima Begum looked like. Apparently, like she was kind of quiet, like a ghost person, quiet person.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, she was talking about prayer room where she get to see her. So people hang out around the prayer room, in the prayer room. It's kind of a social place for Muslim girls. Like it's a big sisterhood space. So I guess no one needs to be Einstein what people are discussing in those prayer rooms.
They're writing down lists.
Yep. Oh, this is the part of the thing. So as they travel from here to Syria, okay, once they arrive, once they arrive Istanbul to the bus station, they change their clothes, and they become more Islamic. They wear more Islamic clothes. What does it tell us?
I don't know, sister. I thought it was nothing to do with Islam.
Other thing is like they know how to get away with things. So I know if I don't cover well, people are not gonna think, oh, I might be dangerous or something. So with my dress code, I can easily deceive people. I can easily wear short sleeves or tight jeans that people will think I'm not that Islamic. And then the moment I put the hijab or burqa on, everyone will know I am Islamic.
So what does she wear nowadays?
I'll show that to you.
And why has it changed, if it has changed? Could it be because of a change of agenda, change of narrative? ISIS fell, now she's back to
I'm gonna show
a different dress.
So we all picked up, okay? So when one dress code, she knows the way you dress up shows the world.
Mm-hmm.
If you are Islamic, wearing Islamic way dress code or not. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this beautiful oranges nail polish, sister?
I'm surprised ISIS didn't do anything to her, but then again, because ISIS fell, maybe.
So if I change my dress code, if I wear short sleeves, if I put nail polish, if I put those sunglasses and then like don't cover up, people will know I'm not that Islamic anymore. Doesn't matter if I am still having those views or not. Because I know I can deceive people with my dress code. When I was approaching to Syria, I just wear more Islamic. But when I was leaving the country, I wasn't wearing that Islamic at all. I know how I can deceive people with my dress code. So, well, lots of journalists are coming and visiting me. In 4 years ago, she's wearing burqa. Now, she's almost half naked because she changed. Now she's like a Westerner who wants to come to UK and then use our beauty, our kind of generosity.
She's not fooling me, sister, because I see the same empty, emotionless eyes that I saw in the burqa.
Well, she's fooling lots of people.
Yeah, but she's not fooling me because I can see through it.
People are looking at her dress code and then saying, well, look, now I'm a Westerner.
Yeah, but that's why you look at what someone says and you look at their actions, And it's very obvious the change of clothing is for what reason? Because now the agenda has changed. Just cold again. It's all about being cold and just getting what one wants. In spite of, doesn't matter how many, bodies you walk over, as long as you get what you want, right?
Yeah. Well, that was the part 1 of BBC Radio 5, Shamima Begum, I Am Not a Monster. Kind of, we just went through. For me to take away is like the moments my heart crushed. It's not when she was asking for sympathy or anything. It's not when she saw the heads were in the bin she didn't even face. Part just broke my heart. This wonderful Islamic caliphate couldn't even sell mint chocolate.
Well, my heart broke. Well, it's broken anyway for this person who's going, unless she repents, is that she was quite happy to say these things in public. So what is she like in private? If she's happy to say that, so cavalier and nonchalant about seeing dead bodies and about her friend being killed, about not seeing her mom again, like with a shrug of the shoulder and like, so, I joined ISIS, so what? It's over. What would she do in private? If that's her best representation of her not being a monster, then in private, I'm thinking it's the opposite.
I am not a bad person. I am not this person whom they think the media is presenting. I am more than ISIS. All the things I have been through, I was like, just like, couldn't find mint chocolate. Can you imagine a life without mint chocolate? Why are you so obsessed with? Okay, I went to ISIS. Now that's over. So what is it like? It's done. Take me back. Get me out of this refugee camp, detention camp. I need like.
Yeah, I agree. She's not like what she's in the media. I think she's worse. If that's the best face. If the mint chocolate means more than human life, then I don't know what a monster is. If that's not what a monster is, I need to go back to definition. I need to go look in the dictionary system for all these definitions. What a bad person is and what a monster is.
It's like, I find another thing is strange is like you are in detention camp and then you can find nail polish that color.
She said I can find everything else. She did say.
I've been to Sudan. I didn't even like take nail polish with me because it was like you can't take those parts of the world. It's like poor countries. I don't know if she took the like nail polish from here when she went to. There is another one like she's got like red nail polish.
Yeah, which means that she's okay. She's alive. She looks well fed. She's got all these. She even has time to beautify herself. Take her work out.
It's because she wants to come back. She wants to give the image. I am not that person. I'm like good person. So what? Like there were those heads in the bin. So what? Like I'm like I want to come back. If my dress code is gonna help me to deceive you, why not?
And there's something else very disturbing, sister. This person lost 2 babies, at least.
3 babies.
3 babies.
Yeah.
How can she act like that and dress like that?
I don't know. And remember, one of her babies is like one of the companions of Muhammad who's been promised paradise. It's not like baby's name is like Ahmed or whatever. Like I forgot the Muslim names now, but like not all those names like Jahra or something like just.
I don't know. It seems recent that she lost those 3 babies and then painting on orange nail polish and eating mint chocolates and dyeing her hair.
Hard
And
life, sister. It's hard life.
it just seems cold. It's all cold. It doesn't seem normal. It seems extremely cold and chilling. I keep using these words. My blood runs cold with everything I see. And I think
It's gone.
it may be that I saw too many crime documentaries, but it just doesn't. The absolute lack of emotional empathy with any human emotion, the lack of human emotion, the lack of recognizing that something is wrong and evil. It's just scary to me. It's just like looking evil in the face. Go on, sister.
Then question we kind of reflect on is someone who doesn't see there is a need for repentance, someone who doesn't see there is a need for remorse. If they are your neighbor, would you feel safe? Or would you want your 5 million to support and help out someone?
I want my 5 million, if we're going to spend that, to support the victims of what these people did, the people that she's associated with did. If she didn't participate, she was associated with, and she didn't seem fazed by their actions, I would rather the 5 million go to them, interview them, rehabilitate, help them get therapy, help them get a new life. She's talking about a new life. How about their life that was taken, if any of them survived? That's where I would like my money to go to.
Recently, I was reading this comment by someone who was making a comment on Yazidis.
Yeah.
So a Yazidi mother was kidnapped with her 1-year-old child by Islamic State. Okay, woman has 1-year-old child, and both of them are being kidnapped by Islamic State. So they didn't feed her for 3 days. She was like starving for 3 days, and then they cooked meal for her, and then they brought the meal. And when she asked, she wanted to feed her child, like because now she eaten, she wanted to feed her child. ISIS said to her, "We just like cooked your child. You just eat the meat of your child." So ISIS kidnapped this Yazidi woman who had 1-year-old child. They cooked her child and they fed the mother with her child. And mother didn't even know that she was eating her own child. So when you think about Shamima Begum, or when you think about ISIS, when you think about jihadi brides, ISIS brides, keep that image in your mind. Keep the picture of this Yazidi woman who was sold for $10. Today, like nearly 3,000 Yazidi women are still missing. Like there was that genocide, and everyone turned blind eye. Approximately 7,000 Yazidi women were kidnapped and sold into the slavery, into the market. They were like $10. They were $10. So Shamima Begum, is she monster or not? Is she a teenage who has hunger for mint chocolate? Or she is someone who follows the ideology, who thinks it's all right to sell the woman in the slave markets, who thinks it's all right to abuse, harm, kill people who are not Muslim. That something needs to be in your mind. There is an ideology there offers such a thing. Young girls from many different nationalities, from Japan to Denmark to Germany to England, traveled to live under the Islamic Caliphate with knowing if their husband becomes a martyr, husband might intercede for them as one of the 70 relatives. There is no regret, there is no remorse in this story. But of course, in UK, we don't want to be the voice for the victims. We want to make time and then make sure people see this. There is a girl in refugee camp, detention camp, who is missing mint chocolate and identifies that as a tragedy. So we need to find ways to bring her back. That's how the world is now. Beloved, anything needs our attention in the chat. Did you keep eye in the chat? I didn't keep eye in the chat.
I did, sister, yeah. People were just picking up on what you're saying. Also beheading people with disabilities. The long list of crimes of these people. Christian girls between age 10 and 20, $130 each.
Yeah. Do you remember the video clip where they're like selling this Christian girl? There's that clip as well. Like, it just, but we don't want to talk about them. Why? Because we want to talk about Muslim girl, Shamima Begum, poor girl. She had a life, so her life was so tough. There was not mint chocolate. Beloved, what are your conclusion remarks?
People of ISIS, sister, they have done some of the worst atrocities and evil in our age. And they have one thing in common with the people that joined them, Shamima Begum and others. They belong to the protected group, the ideology that is called Islam. That's what they've got in common. And that's the root of this evil. My guess as to why they've been given a platform now, being called Not a Monster, because the UK is pandering to the protected group, trying to whitewash them into something more human. When you've seen from their own mouths, their own words, they are nothing but human in their thinking. And that's also because of the religion of Islam. She said herself she was getting more religious before she decided, with extreme determination and planning, and leaving the family and life in the UK, not with intention of never coming back, to join that terrorist group, knowing that it's a terrorist group, and being quite happy in the first few years, the first period that she is in, to see these atrocities happen and calling it normal life. These are the fruit of Islam, sister, when it's in its raw form, when with no filters. And unfortunately, our media wants to filter it into something else that we can sympathize with and even come alongside and welcome back into our homes, into being our neighbors, into being part of us. And that is what I find disturbing. The solution, sister, is easy, is for people to repent, ISIS to repent, Shamima Begum to repent, leave that ideology behind and come to the Lord Jesus Christ, who will wash out all that evil and give life into the eyes and into the heart, and light and rejection of evil. But that can only come with repentance and with saying I'm wrong and being humble enough to do that and come to the Lord. That's all I want to say, sister.
Amen. Thank you, sister. Even though we kind of joined the club of calling ISIS as a terrorist organization, helpful for us to remember, actually it is Islamic organization. As Daughter of Christ said, it is represents Islam. It represents the actions and teachings of Muhammad. Even in their magazine, everything in the book, everything they've done, they reference it from Islamic sources. So ISIS was representing Islam, is representing Islam. People who wanted to be part of ISIS was willingly wanted to be willing. They willingly went there to be part of it. But as Beloved expressed, like solution is not bringing someone in or helping someone to live comfortable life or fixing someone's arm or providing someone house. Solution must be Lord Jesus Christ. There is darkness in this world. There is evil in this world. There is no value for humans in this world. And all those things can be fixed when everyone repent and turn to Lord Jesus Christ. He offers forgiveness. He offered himself for us. It is easy to destroy ideologies, but it seems it is very difficult to convince this young generation and then tell them the ideology they follow is false because it is comfortable. They miss this mint chocolate thing. So we want these false ideologies to be replaced by the teachings of Lord Jesus Christ. I am someone who becomes convinced day after day. Solution to this broken world is our glorious God, our glorious gospel. And if we still haven't seen that, I just want you to reflect on it. Where do you think solution is? Who do you think solution is? Because the way you find the solution, the way you think the solution will help you to live your life. It will help how you think, how you live out your life. But if you don't have the solution, if you don't have Lord Jesus Christ in your heart, in your mind, then I am afraid to tell you that you are part of the problem. Beloved, thank you very much for joining me and helping us to think through story of Shamima Begum and what sadly BBC is doing, as well as what is happening in this broken world. Really appreciate your input, and thank you very much everyone who joined us in chat. By God's grace, we will see you tomorrow evening for another live stream where we will have Robert Spencer to look at some of the I can't remember the topic, but we are looking at certain things with Robert Spencer. So by God's grace, we will see you tomorrow. May Christ crucified silence you with his love. God bless you all.